Good morning, dear students. I hope all of you are fine at home and enjoying with your family members. Since we are going through a severe crisis of COVID-19, so being citizen of our country, it's our responsibility to follow all the instructions given by the government. Okay, stay at home, be safe, take care of yourselves, take care of your family members. If older people are there at home, take care of them also. And yes, follow all the instructions given by the doctors also. They keep on giving instructions time to time. And yes, whatever be the circumstances or situations, it should not cause any impact on your studies, right? It should not hamper your studies in any ways. So keeping all these things in mind, school has started online classes. And now it's your duty, it's your responsibility to take these online classes very seriously now. Okay, links of websites are provided to you all, timetables are provided to you all. So according to the timetable, visit school website and attend all your classes regularly. And if you are going to attend these classes regularly, definitely it will help you out in many ways. Okay, children? And one more thing I wanted to tell you all is that whatever topics are explained here in these online classes will not be repeated again when the school reopens. Okay, so keep this thing in your mind. If it is explained here in online classes, it will not be repeated again. And of course, if you're having any doubts or if you're having any confusion related to any topic, all your doubts will be clarified for sure, but explanation of entire lessons will not be given again. Okay, so keep this thing in your mind and take your online classes very seriously, children. Okay, so before starting today's session, let me introduce you the book which we will be following in class 3rd. So, Grammatics of Friends publication for class 3rd. So, this is the book which we will follow in class 3rd. Okay, and this book contains 29 chapters and almost 7 to 8 chapters we will prepare for our first semester. Okay. So today's session I will start with the very first lesson, that is lesson 1, the sentence. I hope whatever is written here is clear to you all. Lesson 1, the sentence, and this topic is not new for you all, I hope, because it was taught in class 2nd also and it was taught in class 1st also. So most of you might be familiar with this topic, the sentence. Okay, so I write on the definition of sentence. What is the sentence? A group of words, which makes complete sense. A group of words which makes complete sense is called a sentence. I hope whatever I am writing here is clear to you all. A group of words which makes complete sense is called a sentence. This is the definition of sentence. Now, in this definition, when we say a group of words means words arranged in an order. Okay, words arranged in certain order. Okay, see, 3 things you need to keep in your mind. First thing is that words should always be in certain order. It should always be arranged in an order. Second thing is, sentence always begins with a capital letter. The first letter of sentence is always capital. And third thing which you need to keep in your mind is that sentence usually ends with full stop. Okay, so sentence must always be in certain order. The words should always be in certain order. Second, sentence begins with a capital letter. First letter of sentence is always capital. And third thing is that sentence usually ends with a full stop. It also, in some of the cases, it ends with exclamation mark also. It may end with question mark also, depending upon the kinds of sentences. This is another topic and which I will teach you in the next class, in my next session. Okay, so sentence is a group of words which which makes complete sense. Here I'll give you a few examples to make things more clear to you all. Okay. Now see, here I'll give you a few examples. First one is red rose the. Now here you can see, children, this group contains 4 words. Is red rose the. Now is it a sentence? Is it a sentence? No, it's not a sentence. Why? First of all, these groups, because these words are not arranged in an order and it does not give any meaning. So we cannot say that it is a sentence. Okay. So to make it a sentence, what we have to do is we will arrange these words in order first. So what will be the correct order? The rose is red. Now you can see here, when these words are arranged here in certain order, they give some meaning. Okay, so now you can say that the rose is red. Now you can say that this is a sentence. Why? Because words are arranged in order and it gives some meaning to us. Okay, this sentence tells us that rose is red or rose is red in color. Okay, you can see here the first letter of the sentence is capital. T is capital here, and this sentence ends with the full stop. Okay, as I have told earlier also, that sentence always begins with a capital letter and ends with a full stop. Okay, we will see one more example. Book is Ram reading a. Book is Ram reading a. You can see another group of words. Now here also you can see that words are not arranged in an order and it does not give any meaning. It is not a sentence. Okay, it is not a sentence. Why? Because words are not arranged in order and they do not give any meaning. Now we will arrange these words in order first. So what will be the correct order? Ram is reading a book. Now see, Ram is reading a book. Now words are arranged in order here and they give some meaning. The word tells that Ram, what action is being done by Ram? He is reading a book. Okay, so this is a sentence because words are arranged in order and it gives some meaning. It gives some meaning. Okay, see here also R is capital, first letter of the sentence is capital and the sentence ends with full stop. See, these two things you need to keep in your mind, children, that sentence always begins with a capital letter and ends with a full stop. Okay, if you are not going to follow these two rules, you are going to lose marks in your exams. Okay, so I hope these two examples are clear to you all. We will see few more examples. We will see few more examples to make things more clear. See, first group. Us, wool, sheep, gives. Second group of words, shines the sun in the sky. Shines the sun in the sky. And third group of word is wild is a tiger animal. Wild is a tiger animal. Now see, children, in these three group of words, you can see us, wool, sheep, gives, shines the sun in the sky, wild is a tiger animal. These words are not arranged in an order and it's not a sentence. These three, we cannot say that they are sentences. Why? Because words are not arranged in order first of all, and it does not give any meaning. Okay? So, what we have to do? What we will do? We will arrange these words in order first to make it a meaningful sentence. We will arrange these words in order to make it a meaningful sentence. Okay? So, what will be order of the first group? See. Us wool sheep gives. What will be the correct order? Sheep gives us wool. Sheep gives us wool, full stop. Okay, S capital here. Now see the second group of words here. Shines the sun in the sky. This group also does not give any meaning. This group of words also does not give any meaning because words are not arranged in order. To make it a sentence, we have to arrange these words in order first. Shines the sun in the sky. What will be the correct order? The sun shines. The sun shines in the sky. So this is the correct order. Okay, and now we can see that this sentence gives some meaning. The sun shines in the sky. Now you can see the third group of word wild. Wild is a tiger animal. Here also this group of words also does not give any meaning because words are not arranged in order. Okay, and it does not give any meaning. So third one, wild is a tiger animal. What will be the correct order? Tiger is a wild animal. Tiger is a wild animal. Put full stop here. Okay, and you can see that T is capital. Now see the difference between these three group of words and these three group of words. Okay, what is the difference, children? See, in these three group of words, words were not arranged in order and they do not give any meaning. Okay, but here in these three group of words, we can see that words are arranged in proper order and all these three sentences, they give some meaning. Okay, and you can see that first letter in each sentence is capital. Okay, and they end with a full stop. Okay, so these three sentences satisfy all the three properties of the sentence which I have discussed earlier. Okay, that word should be arranged in order, first letter should be capital and sentence always ends with a full stop. Okay, so I hope, children, this much is clear to all of you. Okay, so now we will move further. The second topic of the day is parts of sentences. Okay, parts of sentences. In class 2 also it was taught to you all that sentence has two parts. Okay, sentence has two parts, subject and predicate. I hope all these topics are not new for you all. You all are familiar with these topics because it was taught in your earlier class also. Okay, sentence has two parts, subject and predicate. Subject, predicate. Subject and predicate. Now see, children, what is subject and what is predicate? See, in a sentence, whether we write a sentence or when we speak in a sentence, we mention a person, place, animal or thing. Okay, in every sentence we mention a person, place, animal or thing. Okay, and then we talk about that person, place, animal or thing. Okay, so the person, place, animal or thing which we mention in the sentence is the subject. And what we talk about that person, place, animal or thing is the predicate part of the sentence. Okay, see, subject is called the naming part. What it is called? The naming part of the sentence. And predicate is the doing part of the sentence. Predicate is the doing part of the sentence. Now, see, children, subject and predicate. I'll write down the definition also of subject and predicate. It will be easy for you all to understand. Subject. What is the subject? The person, place, animal or thing spoken about subject is the person, place, animal or thing spoken about. Okay, you can also say it is the naming part of the sentence. And what is predicate? What is predicate? What is spoken about the subject? What is spoken about the subject? About the subject, which is person, place, animal or thing, is called predicate. Or what is spoken about the subject only you can write here. Okay, so the person, place, animal or thing spoken about in a sentence is called the subject, and what is spoken about the subject is called the predicate. Okay, what is spoken about the subject is called the predicate. We will see few more examples, okay, to understand things more clearly. So subject is the naming part I have told you earlier also, and predicate is known as the doing part in the sentence. Okay. We will see few examples to understand the things more clearly. See, one more thing I wanted to tell you children, that subject is either noun or it's a pronoun. Subject is either noun or pronoun, and doing part, which is the predicate must always carry a verb in it. Okay. The predicate part of the sentence must always carry a verb in it. Okay. So these are few basic things which you need to understand. Sentence has two parts, subject and predicate. Okay. Subject is the naming part, predicate is the doing part. Okay. Naming part, subject is naming part, it is either noun or pronoun. Okay. And predicate, which is the doing part, must carry a verb in it. Okay. The predicate part must always carry a verb in it. Okay. What is subject? The person, place, animal or thing spoken about in a sentence is called the subject. And what is the predicate part? What is spoken about the subject is called the predicate, or what is said about the subject is called the predicate. Okay, you can say what is said about the subject is called the predicate. Okay, this much is clear to you all. I'll give you examples to make things more clearly to make you things more clear. Okay, what is said about the subject is called the predicate. Okay, so I'm going to give you a few examples here. See, first example. The dog is barking. The dog is barking. Now see children, here in this sentence you can see, and I have told you all that whenever in every sentence, okay, in every sentence we mention a person, place, animal or thing first, and then we talk about that person, place, animal or thing. So in this sentence, about which person, place or thing we are talking about? We are talking about the dog. Okay. About which person, place, animal or thing we are talking? We are talking about the dog. Dog is an animal. Okay. So what we are talking about dog? That dog is barking. The dog is barking. You can see that barking here is a verb. Predicate part must always carry a verb in it, and the dog is noun here in the sentence. Okay. So the dog is barking. Here in this sentence, the dog is subject. Okay, and is barking is predicate. Is barking is predicate. This sentence talks about the dog. So dog is the subject in this sentence, and is barking is this part of sentence tells us something about the dog. Okay, this part of sentence describes something about dog, and what it says that the dog is barking. So is barking is the predicate part in this sentence. Okay, we will see few more examples. Another example is the rose is red. The rose is red. Now here again you can see that in this sentence, the rose is red. In this sentence we are talking about what? We are talking about a thing which is the rose. Here in the sentence we are talking about the thing which is the rose. This sentence mentions a thing which is the rose. And so rose is what? Subject. And what we are talking about rose? Sentence says that rose is red. The sentence describes the rose and says that is red in color. Okay, so this is the predicate part of the sentence. Okay, so the rose is red. The rose is the subject and is red is the predicate. Okay, this much is clear to all of you, I hope. Okay, few more examples we will see. We will see few more examples. Okay. The teacher gave us homework. The teacher gave us homework. See children, here in this sentence, the sentence mentions the teacher. Okay, this sentence is talking about the teacher. The teacher is a person, it's a noun. Okay, and so in this sentence the teacher will be the subject. It will be the subject. Okay, and this part of the sentence gave us homework. This part that gave us homework it tells us something about the teacher. What does it tell? That he gave us homework. The teacher gave us homework. This part tells something about the teacher. It tells about the action of the teacher. It just describes the action of the teacher. Okay, so this is the predicate part of the sentence, and here you can see gave is the verb. Okay, gave is the verb in the predicate part of the sentence. Okay, so I hope this much is clear to you all. Okay, so today's topic was the sentence. Okay, properties of sentences. As I told you all, 3 things you keep in your mind. First thing is words in a sentence, words are always arranged in order. Second thing, sentence always starts with a capital letter and it usually ends with full stop. Okay. Then we have discussed about the parts of sentences. Sentence has 2 parts, subject and predicate. Subject, and one more thing children, I want to tell you that subject comes before predicate in most of the cases. Not in all the cases, but in most of the cases, subject comes before predicate. Subject is either noun or pronoun, and the predicate part must always carry a verb in it. Okay, so and in a sentence, in every sentence we mention about a person, place, animal or thing. So the part of the sentence that mentions a particular person, place or thing in a sentence is the subject part. Okay, the part about which we are talking in the sentence is the subject, and whatever is discussed about the subject, whatever is described about the subject is the predicate part of the sentence. That part of the sentence is called the predicate. Okay, so I hope this much is clear to you all. Okay, definitions I have given to you all. Learn the definitions. Okay, once, twice or thrice go through the videos. Okay, and if you're having any doubts or whatever problems you're having, note it down. When school reopens, I'll clarify all your doubts. So this much for today. Thank you. We will meet on Wednesday. Whenever be the next class according to your timetable. Okay, so thank you.